Rise and shine, YouTube. Today, we are going to be looking at this guy, the X2F Prototype. Now, there hasn't been a lot of videos, right? Sorry for that. Been under the weather for about a hot minute now. And it's just, I haven't wanted to go live. I haven't wanted to really put a lot of time into really testing products over the last week or two. But here we are. We're back. We're back. We're ready to go. And this is a video that has been in the making for a while, over the last month plus. I've been testing this guy out and being a part of the Pulsar beta testers, right? It's been an enjoyable experience, and definitely an experience that is kind of like, it's good, but it also shows how much a mouse can go under kind of different changes in software firmware, just from the beta version to the final release. This guy is going to be getting a lot of changes, which is a good thing, right? There's a lot of things I would like to see changed, but primarily today we're going to talk about the shape, right? Because firmware is not complete. There's a lot of issues with the firmware. The bottom of this mouse is going to be changed. The sides might be even dialed in a little differently. Clicks might be changing. Who knows? Who knows what's going to be changed at the final end? But we're really going to talk about the shape and why this is actually a pretty good fingertip mouse when you look at it from kind of a different kind of standpoint, from a M5, from Dharma Shark, what has like the higher hump, and it's kind of mice like that, like the HTR from G-Wolves, which is a weird little strawberry thing. But let's talk about this guy. The X2F Pulsars First Ever Fingertip Mouse. Now you might be like, that looks pretty big for a fingertip. It does, right? It does until you use it. So in hand, my hand size is 16 by 9. In hand feel, this feels like a X2 Mini. This is the X2 Mini ES that I was sent out also for review. We'll have that video out in a few days. But when you grip both of these mice the same, they feel identical, right? Just the X2F does not have the back end, and that's all it is. But there's one thing about the X2F that kind of throws me away from using it too often, right? After this kind of testing after the month, is the back half. Now, if you can see this side here, the back half actually bows outward on the sides. So it comes outward, and how I grip this in the fingertip grip is more or so like this. So I like to bring this mouse back into the palm, but when I do that, the back corner of the mouse kind of actually, it just digs into the meatier portion of the thumb, which is something I don't like at all. So once all the feedback and everything was in the Discord, I really kind of wanted to see, I want to see Pulsar kind of taper the sides inwards, so it flows with the hand a little better when people do grip this in a way like I do, right? There were a lot of people that had the same kind of feedback like me with the sides, and if they just dial that in, they can even cut off the back half of this and make it even shorter. But I think that's one good way that they can make this mouse flow better with everybody's hand. I mean, especially like if you do grip it way back here, you're not gonna feel it, but also I don't get the amount of movement that I can if I push my fingers up a little further, right? You can see just the change in like the movement that you can see. I can't bring it in too much, but this I can extend and bring it in much, much more, making vertical tracking a lot easier the farther up I hold the mouse in general. Farther back I hold it, right? I can't, there's not enough hand to really like, yeah, you can bring it this far, but this is just uncomfortable. Where if I hold it like this here, a little farther up, this is just a much more comfortable feel, and the sensor position's pretty much in lines too. Another thing, this mouse is using mechanical switches. Though the switches feel nice and crisp, right? They're very, very, very spammable, but the actuation point of these switches are a little too long, right? So in Valorant or CS, a lot of people were having issues with either one, clicking but not releasing instantly. So some mice have a shorter span of that actuation, even continuing when you click, or if you like the amount of time your finger is on a click, like, yeah, you can hold it down, but if you just change the amount of time your finger is on the click and you release it, sometimes you'll see a lot more inputs from the mouse than you want, and it's different between each mouse based on the firmware and the switches that are used. They are using like an algorithm to battle the double clicking, but it's not actually double clicking. It's just how long the click actually sits and actuates by the time you release, by the time it realizes that your finger is off, and by the time the input is kind of directly inputted into the game you're playing. So, for example, a lot of times with the AK, like, I have to like click so quick and release extremely fast versus other mice, so I don't have the AK that is shooting 2 or 3 times past what I want it to do. And that's pretty much all they would need to do with this mouse is, one, fix just how long the mouse is kind of reading that input and go from there. But otherwise, the clicks are very, very nice, crispy. They feel good. The side buttons are pretty mushy. I didn't really care for the side buttons that much. They're just, eh. They're eh. The bottom of the mouse has these indents, which a lot of people didn't like. One, the skates they use were pretty thin, so on like softer pads, you will feel a little bit of a bottom out of the mouse, but they are going to be changing that. It's going to be a larger kind of foot profile, so we'll be able to use more universal skates. This is how I actually got away of the wobble as well. A lot of people having wobble issues, including me. Yeah, you can get rid of the wobble by simply loosening the screws, but that made some of the clicks feel weird and stuff like that, so I just screwed them back in, took the stock skates off, and found a good use of dot skates that warrant the stock ones. And, well, I mean, battery life was good, but once again, a lot of firmware issues. This thing could go 8K, but I'm not really going to talk about all the super in-depth techs and stuff like that. Just some issues, a lot of things that are going to be changed. But overall, the shape of this mouse is phenomenal. Just one little gripe that I had with it being the back, and that's about it, right? The X2F Prototype, once it releases, right, it's going to be a good fingertip mouse. It's nice, it's wide, right? I don't have any issues with it being too narrow, too small even though people are like, oh, you want you want it to be super, super small. But to what extent, right? I still want more stability out of a mouse than just trying to sit here and really focus on, like, some fingertip mice are just too small for me. The HTR was, that Keychron fingertip mouse was just super, super awkward. But also, I don't fingertip mice anyways. My mouse that I've been using a lot lately is the ZA13 in a nice kind of almost palm relaxed claw grip style. And it's been a joy to use, right? Because I have so much stability on this mouse, where with the fingertip mice, I don't really have that stability that I like to see in like Warzone, Apex, stuff like that. All in all, X2F is going to be, in my opinion, a really good fingertip choice. I don't know how much it's going to cost, because it is going to be pretty much carbon fiber, unless they go through with a different material. Weight is going to be drastically reduced from 40 grams to about 20 something, 30, maybe 30 grams, 30, 35, which is going to be great. We'll see what goes from there. But Pulsar's beta version of this mouse has been a joy. It's a blessing to be a part of the beta tester group. And, well, we'll see you around for the next review. Yeah.